After a week at VBS with all the hustle and bustle, it is so nice to have a day at home where I get to do the mundane task of cleaning my floors. I just feel better when my floors are cleaned. I did score a Boston butt manager special at my local Sprouts, and this is a huge Boston butt, and so this actually is going to make dinner for several nights. Searing up this big old Boston butt. Pork roast. Oh, well, it's a Boston butt pork roast that I got on Manager Special. It's 8.3 pounds, and I paid under $16 for it. So we're searing it up. Then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to saute my onion, and then I'm going to put the meat back in. I pour a can of real Dr. Pepper, and I will cook it in my oven on low bake at 300 degrees for most of the day, and it will be falling apart and make beautiful pulled pork. Hey guys, Brandy here. Welcome back to Sewing Back. I'm in the kitchen. I have been working hard today, trying to honestly just clean, particularly get my floors clean after being gone all last week with Vacation Bible School. It was all I could do to keep up on animal chores, making sure we had dinner, and really just trying to keep up with the garden, keeping it watered, because up until yesterday we had not had rain in a little bit, and so we did get some beneficial rainfall, and we had more late last night, which was really good. All my plants look really good. And then Saturday, because we had so many things we needed to do, we still had garden beds we needed to fill with soil, so John had to go and get a truckload of soil, and we've pretty much got the raised bed garden. Not everything's planted up, but we have some open beds. But I have sucker tomatoes that when I went through and pruned, I have put in water. I have great root systems on them, and so now I'm in the process of putting them in soil and getting them adapted to soil, and then planting them out in the garden. And I did that. I've done that the last couple seasons. It helps your tomato plants go a long way, specifically if you're purchasing plants, because they're not cheap. So, and it's kind of like a backup for your tomato plants, because I live in Kennesaw, Georgia, which is a suburb of the Atlanta metro area, and it's very humid here, and so we typically struggle with blight and fungal issues because of the humidity. So it's better when you get to a place to tear out your tomatoes and have others that you can put in their place. I've also, because we've had an unseasonably cool spring, I just this weekend finally was able to get brassicas out of my back garden. I harvested my cabbages that were back there. My Brussels sprouts I left in longer than I had anticipated because it had become infested with aphids. So I was using it as a trap crop, and we got rid of the worst of them. They're nasty when you get all that many aphids, and threw them way off on the other side of the property for the deer to enjoy, and then the rest of it my girls got. Because they were pretty much useless to us. They were stunted when we had that really crazy cold freeze in December for a prolonged time, and then it warmed up really quick in January, February, so it went to seed, and I just allowed it to go to seed, to do what it was going to do, to stay there, because it has kept the pest off for the majority of all my other plants. So we spent about 5+ hours in the back garden on Saturday working, harvesting. We actually got our first cucumbers. They were delicious. There were some pickling cucumbers. We've gotten a few cherry tomatoes. We just about have one ripe Cherokee purple. We're really excited about that. I had to harvest garlic scapes. They were ready to come up. I actually harvested my soft neck garlic, and those are drying. And I'm trying to think of what else some zucchinis I have over there. They're sitting over there that I harvested, and I'm still tired. That's what I can remember for now. And then just filling up the beds, figuring out the placement of we had a few more metal round beds I had gotten, and getting those placed, as well as some other containers we had, and then topping off, once we cleared out those beds from the brassicas, topping them off with new compost, getting them ready to plant. And then of course all the rain came in. I did get another planting in of some corn. I'm kind of successive planting. We had some old sweet corn seed, and it kind of came up sporadically, so I had some more and I soaked them, and so I'm just kind of trying to make that work. That's going to be our corn for this year. And then we also got the outside backyard garden measured out. We've got the T-post back there so we could put up the deer netting for the in-ground garden, except we have decided we want to kind of do similar to the Three Sisters for back there to see. We're just kind of gauging it. It had heavy wood chip mulch for the last couple years from when we had the trees removed. And what we're wanting to plant in there are sunflowers. So you can do sunflowers. Corn is typical, but I just don't feel like corn is the right thing to put there. It needs a lot of work, and I really want to be able to add nitrogen back into the soil if possible. So I really want to do sunflowers. Sunflowers are a great crop to put in if you're trying to work on your soil health. So I want to do some sunflowers with, I think we've settled on cowpeas, which are black-eyed peas, and pumpkins, and winter squash, things like that. So those we're going to kind of do the Three Sister and mound method. I think we're going to have 3 to 4 rows of mounds and plant, and use the residual wood chips we have out there to kind of make pathways and see how it goes. And then our goal is in the fall is that once we've harvested what we want, to put the chickens back there and let them scratch it up and do what they want to do. And then I'm hoping to cover crop it and then have the chickens scratch it back up in winter, cover it, and not totally sure there. I'm not sure if we're going to end up having to till it, or if we can broad fork it, maybe add in some compost and start planting. We're not 100% on that, but I know for sure that we want to do this mound method, and because it makes the most sense. This is what the items we already have, and trying to be a good steward with those items and repurposing items and things like that. We already really have all the seeds, and so we feel like that's the best thing that we can do for the soil right now. And then, like I said, allowing the chickens to go in once we've gotten what we want, let them tear it up, work the ground for us, and then being able to cover crop it for winter so that the soil isn't sitting alone without anything on it, that will be able to be chopped and dropped, and let the chickens do what they want to do to it, and then getting it ready for next spring. That is kind of what I think our goal is, and so we're excited about that. So anyway, so today the goal was, it was stormy last night, it's still overcast, had a little bit of drizzles. I am waiting on my new washing machine, which I desperately need and cannot wait for Costco to get it here. It is en route somewhere. It's out for delivery. And And I have been cleaning floors because my floors were nasty because I didn't get to them last week, bathrooms, all the things. And my next job is going to be going in my upstairs pantry, pulling everything out and taking inventory of what I have. So I am planning to start my June 2-week challenge on Wednesday, June 14th. So that's a couple days. And first thing I want to say is on week 1 challenge that I gave you with the free menu and everything, I am really sorry. It says like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the first 7 days. And for the second week's menu, which is now up, and I will link in the description, I did it differently. I put day 1, day 2, day 3. That way, if you don't want to start on a Monday, you can start when you want. And what I actually did with the other menu for my own copy is I went and I whited it out. And I put day 1, day 2, and did it that way. And the main reason that I'm not starting it today and I'm starting it on Wednesday is I have choir rehearsal on Wednesday, and my first recipe that I gave you guys, the cordon bleu broccoli casserole where I use my canned chicken. It is a quick dinner. It is a make-ahead dinner casserole. You can heat it up, and I need something like that for Wednesday because in the summer we don't do Wednesday night dinner, and I need to have dinner done so I can get to choir practice. And so that's why I chose to do it that way. Plus I knew I needed a couple days to go through the pantry to make my final list of what I need to go get. And for my 2-week challenge, for me, I am going to try not to go to the store for 2 weeks. However, I am going to have a small cash budget in case like we were to run out of milk, butter, some kind of fresh produce, something like that. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to have about $40 of cash just to have it on hand, because some items like that are hard to get 2 weeks out, and to keep it, to have the space to keep enough of it for 2 weeks and keep it fresh. And I'm also still on the fence about certain things coming out of the garden and not coming out of the garden. And so yeah, so that was kind of one of the items that I was gonna say. For some of you, if you don't have a lot of storage, you don't have freezer space and things like that, 2 weeks may not make sense for you. If you're in that boat, do a 1 week. Do a 1 week shopping trip and don't go again to the store for a whole nother week. The fewer times you go to the store, the more money you're going to save. It's very easy to get distracted with things when we go to the store and buy things and spend money that maybe we didn't allot to spend. So that's kind of the thinking of it. And I'm pretty well stocked, but I do need to check in my closet for some things to make sure I have all the little things that I might need for a recipe. So I did make menu 2. I will put it in the description. I did it a little bit different, and I actually like this so much better. It's 1 page, and I give you, like I said, day 1 through day 7. I tell you what we're having for dinner, and then I have little notes about, you know, when to get what out the night before to thaw, all that kind of stuff. A lot of what you'll find on this menu, I already have the stuff prepped and in my freezer. And that's because when I brought it home, I either cooked up, like my turkey tacos are cooked up through July. I got a great manager special deal on organic turkey and ground turkey, and I cooked up, I think it was 12 or 14 pounds of ground turkey. And we mainly use ground turkey for tacos and chili. And so I did all that, packaged it up, froze it. So all I have to do is pull it out. All I have to do is reheat it. It's cooked, it's seasoned and everything. If you've been here, you've seen my chicken marinades. I got a great deal on chicken breast, chicken thighs, and I went in and prepped them. I did a couple different marinades that I can throw on the grill. So you'll see things like that in here. I also have bought in bulk ground beef and ground pork and things like that. So it's easy to make burgers and that kind of thing. I also always have a plethora of eggs for my chickens. So this is chicken egg laying time. So I have put on this week's menu my fridge dump farmer casserole, and that one is great because you can clean out the refrigerator, and say you find some onions in there or shallots and some different varieties of cheese. You can just mix anything and put in the fridge dump. And I actually have a second one I prepped. I have a video on this one, which will be linked in the description. And you can click over and you can see it and get the recipe and all that. But I prepped a second one that's already in my freezer, and I already have like the mushrooms, the sauce, all of that's already cooked, ready to go. I even have the cheese grated. I froze it all up. It's in there, and I just have to pull it out, put it together, add some egg over it, add a little cheese. Well, actually no, the cheese is in there too. I think all I have to do is really just add that milk and egg and some cooking spray in my pan and bake it up, and dinner will be done. So you'll see that kind of stuff on my menu for this week. But what I did on the shopping list is, and I did keep it kind of generic, if you're following me, because on this menu it gives you breakfast ideas and lunch ideas. And so for our breakfast ideas are granola with yogurt, muffins, egg bites, sourdough pancakes, banana bread, smoothies. Those are all things I have on hand, or I have the ability to make because I have staples in my house. So my lunch ideas are leftovers. We typically have leftovers, so we'll eat leftovers, sandwiches, soup or ramen, salads, and of course eggs. So that's kind of lunch ideas for us. And then I made the shopping list. And so essentially I put things on the shopping list for you if you want to follow what I'm doing on my menu. And I just put them here because when you go through your pantry and your refrigerator, because that's the other thing I'm going to do is clean out my refrigerator. When you clean those things out, you will see, oh, I have a lot of onions and peppers and garlic already, so I don't need that. Or maybe you don't have any and you do. I have fruit. I just kept it generic, whatever fruit you like to eat and have on hand. Salad greens and spinach, and then any kind of vegetables you think you might need for the week. I also like potatoes, and I have like plus sweet because I have a dish in here where I'm going to need baked sweet potatoes. Breakfast sausage, bacon if those are items you eat, flour, brown rice, stocks if you don't have any on the shelf. I actually need to make some, so I'll probably be making some in the next week or so. Any sauces you need, like ketchup, any of those kind of things, go check your pantry, see what you have, see what's in the fridge. Yogurt, this is where I said you might want to have a small budget for things that can go out of date, that maybe you can't get a 14-day date for, and that could be yogurt, sour creams, cottage cheese, any of that kind of stuff. Then I have meats. For this menu, I have chicken wings, I have chicken breasts for stir fries. You could also use chicken thighs if you like, or a mixture. I have a mixture in my freezer. Pork chops, ground beef, and ground turkey. I have all of those meats already in my freezers and ready to go. I put snacks. I put like cheese sticks, granola bars, chips if you do that, or popcorn. Then for taco night, think about your taco shells, salsa, refried beans, any of your favorite fixings you might want to have to do that. Pull that off. And then frozen, I have like corn, potatoes, waffles, if you want to do like frozen waffles or pancakes, or any kind of frozen treats like popsicles, whatever. Garlic bread, if you don't make your own bread, you might want to pick something like that up. Or if you're gluten-free, they have gluten-free ones you might want to do. Or just anything you feel like you're going to need to finish off your meal. And then of course I highlighted, don't forget the coffee. If you're not a coffee drinker, then I guess don't forget the tea. But I tried to keep it really simple, basic. And then if you have other things, you can write it on the back. What you won't see on this list is any kind of household products. That's not your grocery budget. That's separate. And I would encourage you to make a budget for those kinds of things and to kind of start the same kind of process where you have kind of a back stock that you rotate through so that you're never going to run out of dishwashing soap or laundry detergent or toilet paper or paper towels if you use them, whatever it is, toilet bowl cleaner, you know, whatever you do. Or maybe vinegar because you make your own type cleaners like I did. I took my Myers lemon skins and peels and I fermented them in white distilled vinegar and made my own cleaning solution. So if you do that, hey, then that's great too. But always knowing that you have that our hand soap, you know, bar soap, deodorants, things like that. So a lot of people will buy that kind of stuff in bulk. Like if you go to Costco or something like that, and soap, toothpaste, all those kinds of things. But that is a separate budget than our food budget. I also do not include my animals feed in our budget. The only thing that might ever overlap maybe is some dairy that I give them, but that just depends if I happen to see it and happen to be at the health food store where they carry raw goat milk. So that's about it. Pretty much everywhere else, I go separately for their stuff, and of course my chicken feed is totally different too. So now I will sometimes get things in my Azure orders. I will not have an Azure for this month. I have a conflict for the drop, so I'm not going to be there for sure this month. Not sure yet for next month. Because I do often get some things for my animals through Azure. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that menu 2 is up. You can look in the description. It will take you to sewingback.com and you'll see the summer challenge and you'll see it, and also have a couple videos linked there that show you how to do the fridge dump farmer casserole. And there's also one on a pasta, a cold pasta that I do. I have put on the menu. So a cilantro lime pasta, and so you might want to take a look at that if you think that might interest you, or you may want to do a different kind of pasta. I just like, sometimes it's nice to have a cold pasta because you can do it early in the day, dinner's done, and you can, a lot of times I'll do a crusty bread, a sourdough crusty bread, and that's dinner. And so, and I don't have to worry about it at dinner time. And in garden season, that's really big for me because oftentimes that's when we can get out and work in the garden because it's got a little bit more shade, it's a little more tolerable. And so anyway, I will have a video I'll probably throw up, or a short or something showing you how I clean out my pantry and cleaning out the fridge and all that kind of stuff. I've added a few things into this one, so it's kind of a hodgepodge. But anyway, with that, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're getting excited about the 2-week summer challenge. This is the June one. We're going to do June, July, and August. And I hope you've set a goal for yourself for saving some of that money, putting it back for either just to save, to stock up, maybe for a fun trip or getaway, or maybe just a fun family day to do something special. Or maybe you have something around the house that you need because your washing machine went out and you have to buy a new washing machine unexpectedly. So whatever it might be, I hope that you will enjoy the pantry challenge. You will not see it. Set a goal that's obtainable for you with whatever rules that you need to put in place for yourself. But don't act like it's a law, and that you know, if something were to happen, you have to be flexible. And that doesn't mean, so you fall off the wagon one day, get back on the next day. You just do the best that you can. You will get better at it the more that you try, but life happens, and sometimes you just have to, you just have to work with what's dealt to you in a given day. So please know that these are all guides. And it is free. It's just here to help you, to encourage you. And if this isn't encouragement to you, you would rather, do it on your own, by all means do that, especially if you have dietary things. You may have, maybe you don't eat meat. Or maybe you are gluten-free, and so some of the things in there, maybe they don't make sense for you. So whatever it is, you can still take the principle of it and go with that. And so anyway, with that, I hope you'll have a great day, or evening, or morning, depending on when you're watching it. And I'm excited to start videoing our dinners and showing you what we're doing in the kitchen. And with that, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.